A good Thursday, everybody. I'm meteorologist Ben Dery. Thanks for checking us out on Kare 11 Plus. Big weather story over the next couple of days is the high heat and humidity headed our way second half of the weekend and through most of next week. We're entering a very sizable pattern shift that's going to give us hot and humid weather beginning on Sunday. And about every day next week, we expect temperatures to be 90 degrees or warmer. On top of that, it's also going to become rather humid as well. So a combination of 90-degree heat, dew points in the lower 70s. We haven't felt heat index values this high since last summer. So I know it was a little warm to start off the month of June. We've been kind of cool-ish over the last couple of months, or a couple of weeks, I should say, but the heat is coming back in a big way. The heat index, probably by Monday afternoon, triple digits, easily 100 to 105 degrees. That's what it's going to feel like outside. And that kind of heat is likely going to last through the 4th of July weekend, which is not this weekend, but next weekend. So we're just right around the corner from that happening. In the short term, we are in between weather systems. The system that gave us all the rainfall on Tuesday, as well as those scattered thunderstorms across northern Minnesota and across Wisconsin yesterday. Well, that system is slowly working its way over the Great Lakes region. So that's there to our east. We also have some wetter conditions moving into the center part of the country. High pressure over us right now is going to keep us high and dry. However, many of us are waking up to some cloud cover to start off the day. Our infrared satellite loop is just now picking up on it. You can see that stream of clouds that stretches from Alexandria through the Twin Cities and most of western Wisconsin. We are starting to see some breaks in these clouds, but it has been a pretty overcast start to the morning. We expect to see more sunshine as the day goes on. This is a time-lapse loop from our Golden Valley sky camera, and notice most of this morning we've been kind of socked in the overcast, and sometimes it was a pretty low-hanging overcast and a little patchy fog outside. But you can see the last part of this time-lapse loop starting to see those low clouds begin to break up, and again, we should see brighter conditions through the second half of the day. Overall, a very comfortable Thursday is in the forecast. I mean, we're talking mid-70s for highs, lower dew points, light northeasterly wind. Can't get much quieter and more pleasant than that. We should stay dry at least through Saturday, but by the time we get into Saturday night, early Sunday morning, we'll start to notice some thunderstorm chances beginning to brew. But again, the bigger story is going to be the hot and humid stretch that begins this weekend, lasting into next week. So this is microcast. This is showing us that the clouds that are with us at the moment will clear out to sunshine well before noontime. The exception is areas near the head of Lake Superior and into northwest Wisconsin. We have that northeasterly wind coming off the lake. So the clouds you're actually seeing this morning actually had a somewhat of an influence from Lake Superior. So Lake Superior is rather cool. The water temperatures there in the upper 40s and lower 50s. It takes a lot of energy to heat up Lake Superior. So you have this cool body of air, or cool body of water. That means the air directly above Lake Superior is a whole lot cooler than, say, the area over land. We had a northeasterly wind this morning, so that combination of cool air over Lake Superior and that northeasterly wind actually created clouds, and those clouds pushed all the way down to us this morning. So basically what we're saying is we are waking up to lake-influenced clouds to start off the day, which is pretty neat. No rain coming out of those clouds, and again, most of us will spend the rest of the afternoon with a mostly sunny sky. And as we head into your Friday, kind of a mixture of clouds and sunshine, but otherwise bright and again, mainly dry conditions are expected. Here's a look at the next 12 hours. We'll see those clouds continue to gradually fade, turning into a partly cloudy afternoon, mid-70s for forecast highs today, and that should be the case pretty much region-wide. The exception is right near Lake Superior and the North Shore, which, by the way, is going to be a big-time refuge from the heat and high heat and humidity expected next week. I still think we're going to see a light easterly flow near Lake Superior, so we're probably looking at a case where up on top of the hill in Duluth, say up by Hermantown, near the airport up there, they're probably going to be well into the 80s to lower 90s. But right near Lake Superior and Canal Park might actually be in the 50s and low 60s. So that'll be a crazy temperature contrast that I'm really looking forward to seeing, especially as we head into Monday, which is forecast to be our warmest day. Let's check out your weekend forecast. At least around the Twin Cities, you can see temperatures in the 70s both today and Friday. We start to warm up heading into the weekend. Saturday region-wide, we should see some 80s return with, again, cooler temperatures in Duluth. And then on Sunday, that's the warmest day of the weekend. And also, we're tracking a warm front that's going to move through the area Saturday night into Sunday morning. And that warm front along that boundary is where we could see the development of some showers and thunderstorms, and that could linger into Sunday morning. So I know we have a lot of outdoor events happening this weekend. Sunday morning, I believe, is the Pride Parade. We have numerous 5K races happening that morning as well. And just keep in mind, that's probably our best chance of seeing some thunderstorms is about that time Sunday morning. We have low confidence in the thunderstorm chances, but because we have, so much energy that will be in place with the warming temperatures and the increasing moisture, any storm that does develop could become severe. So Sunday morning, just something to be mindful of. And Monday will probably be capped, which means temperatures in the mid-levels of the atmosphere are so warm that it suppresses thunderstorm development. And you can see that with our overall picture right here. Big heat dome to our south and east that's basically like putting a lid on top of a boiling pot of water. So it suppresses thunderstorm development. So the temperatures in the mid-levels of the atmosphere are too warm to produce thunderstorm development. So it's a case that we call a capped environment. On the periphery of this heat dome, however, which we will be probably pretty close to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, along the rim of that, sometimes we call that the rim of fire. That's where we could see some thunderstorm development. So that will be the tricky part of this forecast is we have this heat dome that should be in place. Monday will probably be capped. I don't think we'll see a whole lot of thunderstorm development there. But if the cap weakens a little bit as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, as that heat dome kind of shifts a little bit south and east, we could certainly see the chance of seeing a few thunderstorms develop. And again, with all the high energy in place, those storms could turn severe. So something to be mindful of. Low confidence in the thunderstorm risk, high confidence in the amount of heat and moisture headed our way. This is a look at the next 5 days temperature-wise. Today is probably as cool as the forecast gets, I'd say, over the next 2 weeks. Mid-70s today, which is seasonably cool, but the average high is 81 degrees. We're at 80 degrees on Friday, mid-80s on Saturday, and then our streak of 90-degree days begins on Sunday. Monday right now appears to be the warmest day. Mid to even upper 90s are possible, and you look at the dew point trend, and you can see a combination of heat and humidity. It's going to be feeling pretty sultry on Monday. Dew points lower 70s, daytime highs probably in the mid to upper 90s. That means the heat index, what it feels like outside, is going to be pushing into triple digits. And really what that heat index is so our bodies, in order to cool ourselves down, we produce sweat. And when we have high levels of moisture in the air, like higher dew points, our bodies become less efficient at cooling ourselves down. So it feels a lot warmer than if we had drier dew points like what we're dealing with today. Something to note too is June has been kind of a flip-flop month. Through the first half of the month, it was actually pretty warm. We only had one 90-degree day. That was back on the 10th. But you could see the first 10 days of the month were a lot warmer than average. And then we saw a bit of a pattern shift. In the previous 2 weeks, we've had temperatures that have been cooler than average. One day even staying in the 60s. That was a couple of Wednesdays ago. So it's kind of been a bit of a flip-flop pattern. I think as a whole, June is running about 1.5 degrees warmer than normal. And with the forecast in place later this weekend with the warmer temperatures, it's likely that June is going to stay warmer than average. So here's a look at your 7-day forecast here. Nice day today. If you're not a big fan of the big-time heat and humidity, the next couple of days are for you. A little breezy both Saturday and Sunday. Again, we're tracking that warm front, the movement of that warm, humid air beginning to move into the region. That passes through late Saturday night into Sunday morning, probably providing us with our best opportunity at thunderstorms. And if we do see some thunderstorm development on any of these days, it could help to keep our temperatures a little bit cooler. But regardless, I'm thinking 90 degrees or warmer is a pretty good bet. Sunday, probably through next weekend, which is 4th of July weekend. That should be enough to really warm up our area lakes. But just keep in mind that thunderstorms are possible each one of those days. So let's talk more about the weather impacts of this next heat wave. We haven't seen high heat and humidity like this so far this summer. We did have one 90-degree day earlier this June, but I think we're going to get probably 6 or 7 days 90 degrees or warmer beginning next week. Also becoming humid, heat index values likely going to be in triple digits for at least a couple of the days. And it looks like Monday is going to be about as warm as it gets with temperatures in the mid to upper 90s, dew point in the lower 70s. That's downright tropical air. and our air conditioners are likely going to be working overtime as that heat is likely going to last through the 4th of July weekend. Outside today, we are fairly quiet and rain-free. Yesterday, we had some scattered thunderstorm development over northern Minnesota and Wisconsin. The remnants of that system have now pushed over the central Great Lakes. You can see some showers and thunderstorms over the center part of the country, but high pressure is keeping us high and dry today. Not totally cloud-free, however. Especially this morning, we woke up to basically overcast conditions. This is a closer look. This is our infrared satellite loop, and you can see as the sun's getting up, we're actually starting to see those clouds showing up on our satellite loop at the moment. But yeah, it was an overcast start to the day. This is a time-lapse loop that shows those clouds kind of lingering through at least the first half of this morning. But you will notice on the tail end of this loop, we finally start to see some breaking of those clouds. So that cloud deck, it really isn't all that thick. So as the sun starts to warm up the ground, we start to see those clouds evaporate, and I'm thinking we're going to see a mostly sunny second half of the day. So overall, temperatures today will be very comfortable. Mid-70s for highs, which is a couple degrees cooler than average, but it's going to feel a whole lot cooler based on where the forecast is headed. We will stay mainly dry at least through Saturday. We are tracking a warm front that will probably move through Saturday night into early Sunday morning. That warm front, whatever we talk a warm front or a cold front, is just the boundary between air masses. And if the temperatures are warming up on that other side of the boundary, we call it a warm front. If the temperatures are getting colder, then we call it a cold front. So that frontal system moves through late Saturday night. It's a lifting mechanism that could give us our best chance for thunderstorms for early Sunday morning. And then behind that frontal system, it's going to be hot and humid from Sunday through a good chunk of next week. So this is our forecast model for today. You can see the clouds that we're dealing with this morning. They're going to be fizzling. We're turning mostly sunny for the most part this afternoon. The exception is areas in northern Wisconsin and near the head of Lake Superior, where the temperatures will be a lot cooler and the clouds might linger a little bit later into the day. And as we head into the rest of your afternoon and early evening, we clear out and it looks like a pretty pleasant afternoon to be out and about. So mid-70s for highs today. This is the next 12 hours near the Twin Cities. Sunshine, 70s, and a light northeasterly breeze, and not to mention low humidity. It's about as pleasant as the forecast gets moving forward, especially if you're not a big fan of that big-time summer heat and humidity that's just a couple of days away. We'll stay in the 70s today. It looks like we'll be mostly in the 70s tomorrow, and then we see the warming temperatures heading into the weekend. Here's your weekend getaways forecast. For Friday, we'll call it a mix of clouds and sunshine, thinking brighter conditions as we head into Saturday. And a heads up if you are heading out to the lake. Both Saturday and Sunday forecast to be pretty gusty. So even though temperatures will be warm, especially on Sunday, just keep in mind there will be a pretty decent chop on the water as that warm air starts to move in. You'll notice the thunderstorm icons for Sunday. That's mainly for the first part of the day. As that warm front passes through Saturday night, we do expect there to be at least a few thunderstorms around. And because we have such high levels of heat and humidity, these could be high energy storms, which means a chance at seeing a little bit of severe weather. So here's the overall weather pattern shift as we head into next week. There's the heat dome that we've been talking about that develops over the southern U.S. and then builds into the Ohio River Valley. We're kind of on the periphery of that heat dome, which means, so the heat dome, it suppresses thunderstorm development. It's like putting a lid on a pot of boiling water. So that's where we have the lesser chances at storms right on top of that dome. We're kind of on the outer edges of that, which means that we could still see some thunderstorms develop along the edge of that boundary. So that's something that is kind of a low confidence forecast, is the thunderstorm potential. We still have chances for storms Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but if we are capped, that is to say, if this heat dome nudges a little bit further west, it's just going to be a hot and humid day. So really our forecast for thunderstorms really depends on the placement of that. It could just be too warm in the mid-levels of the atmosphere to produce widespread thunderstorm development. But our best chance of seeing storms is going to be late Saturday night into Sunday morning. Higher confidence in the warmer temperatures headed our way. Mid-70s today, probably as cool as the forecast gets through the 4th of July holiday for certain. Looks like maybe mid-July is when we'll see temperatures that cool again. Our string of 90s begins on Sunday. The warmest, most humid day is expected on Monday. Not only temperatures mid to upper 90s, but the heat index is likely going to be in the triple-digit territory. So it's going to feel like it's 100 degrees or warmer by Monday afternoon. And if we don't see any of that thunderstorm development to help cool us down, Tuesday and Wednesday could be just as warm. So here's how your 7-day forecast breaks down. Nice conditions today with a clearing sky, mix of clouds and sun heading into your Friday with a warming temperature. And you can see a bit gusty both Saturday and Sunday with a few thunderstorms at times with high heat and humidity next week.